Irregular verbs taking the same form in past simple and past participle. Part 2. Chide, chided, chid, chided, chid, chidden. The past simple chid and past participle chid and chidden forms are not widely used and not every dictionary includes them, so it is safer to use the form chided. Anna is a permissive mother and never chides her children. He chided me for being late. I was chided for being rude to my teacher. Cleave, cleaved, cleft, clove, cleaved, cleft, cloven. The verb cleave in the sense of to split, to divide, takes the forms cleaved, clove, cleft in past simple and cleaved, cloven, cleft in past participle. With the meaning to adhere to stick closely to, it takes the forms cleaved or clove in past simple and cleaved in past participle. For example, he had cleaved to the coast road throughout his entire journey. Sue cleaved strongly to her faith, especially during times of adversity. A single blow of the axe cleaved the log in two. Cling, clung, clung. Young chimpanzees cling tightly to their mothers. She's clung like a limpet to me when afraid. He blindly clung to the hope that she would return. Clothe, clad, clothed, clad, clothed. When the verb clothe refers to the wearing of clothes, both clothed and clad are correct. When we refer to a type of covering, especially one made of tougher material, such as that covering the outside of a building, the past simple and past participle of clad is preferred. For example, we have 6 children to feed and clothe. The queen was clothed in fine silks. He was clothed rather modestly for a king, and oftentimes courtiers mistook him for a servant. Creep, crept, crept. He must have crept in when I wasn't looking. The burglar crept up the front door. My niece likes to creep up behind people and shout, "Boo," to frighten them. Tim is always creeping to his boss. Crossbreed, crossbred, crossbred. In the past, black-tailed jackrabbits were crossbred with snowshoe hares. He has crossbred an apple and a pear to produce a fruit he calls a prapple. A crazy scientist plans to crossbreed a cat with a dog. Crow, crowed, crew, crowed. The past simple form crew of the verb crow occurs only in British English, but the form crowed definitely prevails. In American English, the crowed form is used in past simple and past participle. For example, The rooster has crowed 3 times. The parents watched their baby crow with delight when they gave her a rattle. After Peter's 3rd denial of Jesus, the rooster crowed a 2nd time. Daydream. Daydreamt. Daydreamed. Daydreamt. Daydreamed.
Daydream. Daydreamed. Daydreamed.
Yesterday I daydreamt about being a famous singer. She lay down on the grass and daydreamt. He feels blissfully happy when he daydreams about living on a desert island. Deal. Dealt. Dealt. He is known to deal in smuggled goods. The manager dealt with the problem after a customer complained. Oliver had dealt in cars for a living before setting up his own restaurant. Dig. Dug. Dug. He has just dug a deeper hole for himself by trying to explain his mistake. The children dug a long tunnel in the snow. Some dogs dig holes and hide bones in them. Dive. Dived.
Dove.
Dived. I've dived on the reef many times. The pool isn't deep, so don't dive in head first. The submersible dived to a depth of 10,000 feet. Dream. Dreamt. Dreamed. Dreamt. Dreamed.
Dream. Dreamed. Dreamed.
What did you dream about last night? Last night she dreamt about being a princess. He has dreamt of being an astronaut since he was 8. Dwell. Dwelt. Dwelled. Dwelt. Dwelled.
Dwell. Dwelled. Dwelled.
He dwelt by a lake for 20 years. The family had dwelt in the wilderness since 1999. I'm pretty sure that my parents won't let me go on a camp with the guys and dwell in a tent. Feed. Fed. Fed. Did you feed the fish? I fed the dog, so you don't need to give her any more food. She fed her employers with lies, every one of which they believed. Feel. Felt. Felt. I just felt weird after taking the sleeping pill and couldn't drop off. Can you feel the vein in my left arm? I have felt the same way all along. Fight. Fought. Fought. My grandfather fought in the Second World War. They fought bravely, but were eventually overrun by the enemy. Whenever I go to visit them, they fight. find, found, found. I find his behavior very peculiar. I found my glasses. They were under the cushion. The police found that Steve had been abused as a child. I found my old photos in the attic. He was found guilty of the charge. Fit, fitted, fitted.
Fit, fit, fit.
I don't think this table will fit into your small kitchen. We've just had solar panels fitted to the roof of the house. The High Court stated that the punishment had fitted the crime and so upheld the initial judgment. Flee, fled, fled. He had fled Syria to be safe, but found himself caught up in another war in Ukraine. He fled abroad 15 years ago after being accused of murder. My parents want to flee the city and live in the country. Fling, flung, flung. She flung her bag in the corner and sat down with a strong drink. The window was flung open by the strong wind. He flings himself into every activity with the same energy. Foretell, foretold, foretold. He claimed to be the one who foretold the death of Kennedy. The psychic has foretold that I will marry a prince. No one can foretell the future. Get, got, got.
Get, got, got, gotten.
The verb get has many different meanings and is used in many expressions. In American English, both got and gotten are used as past participles. The got form is used when the verb get means to possess, to have, while gotten is used only when the verb get means to get, receive, to become, or when it refers to some process or change. For example, British English. Petrol has got so expensive recently. I have got better at speaking English since I started a course. I've got an important matter to discuss with you.
American English. Petrol has gotten so expensive recently. I have gotten better at speaking English since I started a course. I've gotten some time off, am going camping.
Where did you get this coffee table? I've got a strange rash on my leg. Come here and have a look at what I've got for you. Natasha got really angry with Sarah. There was no bus, so we got a taxi. Gild, gilded, gilt, gilded, gilt. The whole interior of the chamber was covered with gemstones and amber, and the lanterns were gilded with red gold. Looking at the rays of the setting sun as they gilded the smooth surface of the sea, she felt a sudden surge of new hope. The craftsman decided not to gild the picture frame but leave it unadorned. Grind. Ground. Ground. The butcher grinds his knives twice a week. My mum says that I ground my teeth while sleeping when I was young. He has ground so many cigarette butts into the table that it's now permanently scarred. Every morning he ground fresh coffee, savoring the aroma that filled the kitchen. Hamstring. Hamstrung. Hamstrung. All production has been hamstrung by lack of labor. The factory's business has been hamstrung due to the COVID-19 pandemic. If he is elected the next president, he will hamstring our current trade embargo on Iran.